is out on maternity leave, so that's why
Yeah.
there's only three of us. But
We're
she will
having a
be
new
back as
baby.
we can, sending her lots of love. Yes, we are. We're new aunties. Sorry, Colleen. Go right ahead.
It's okay, sis. Hi, Lana. We miss
Music
you.
has to do with expression of lyrics. It has to do with impacting persons emotionally, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, and so forth. And so we would have sought the need to examine how music influence society or people in the whole. We're not going to limit it to youths only. We know that the youths um, stand to be impacted mostly by music, since that's a driving force for youths. But we're going to look at it holistically. And so I think that with music, it has its pros and it has its cons. cons. True,
And
true.
as Shimiza was indicating earlier, prior to the show, she was saying that, music puts her in the mood. What
Yeah,
are your
so
views on?
music is big. It definitely is. Um, because I work so much with the youths
Mm.
because of work. And I often say I learn a lot from these children. These we have no idea how much these children know.
Yeah.
And you find that a lot of it is from music. What I find though, however, is because music has changed, lyrics has become something new over the years. We find that it does influence and it does cause the children of these days to behave differently than we used to. It's like when we used to go to school, Shimi had liked
Beyonce.
B2K.
B2K.
Yes, she had liked, and we used to fantasize about B2K because I honestly felt like Shamisa knew or met personally two of these boys, these boys from B2K. Hear me? And for us, it used to be, oh, he has nice lips. One of
Yeah,
them, he
nice
had really
hair.
nice pink lips, really nice hair, and so on. And that was good enough for us. But now you ask a child who's B2K. First of all, they don't know. You even
Yeah.
ask a child as close to who is Neo. Neo? Who's Neo?
Right.
You know? And you find that when we enjoyed that, the lyrics, it was good. And they used a lot of satire. And if something was, a little wicked in the song, it was hidden.
Right.
Now it is out there, out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember recently a student came to the office. Why did you come to the office? My teacher sent me. What did you do? I was telling a girl I want her to gag.
What is gag?
And I'm like, gag? What is that? And he started to explain what he meant. And he was literally talking about oral sex. So they know that is a term I have to now add to my vocab.
Right.
So that if I go to a classroom and I hear a child talking about, oh, I don't know, it's not acceptable, So for me, music do put me in a mood. And I believe we have control over it, however, sometimes. Because I find that when you're depressed, why is it you find all of these songs that
Depressing songs
that tells you about, oh, this person used to love you but they don't love you anymore, and this, and oh my god. But when you're in a happy mood, you find all those upbeat music. So I try to switch it around. What I know, because depression in itself is a serious thing, we cannot overlook that.
Yeah.
And music can contribute to it if we allow it to. So if you know you're hurting, don't go and listen to Celine Dion. And there's we old school thing. We can listen to we little Whitney Houston and Celine Dion and so on. So with reference to the show, however, trend music nowadays sets trends.
Right.
Gun is a big thing. You're in a party and
everybody putting up their gun finger,
Yeah,
and
because Nels, back
Mhm.
then we had Gaza and we had
and gully.
Gully.
Uh-huh.
So it's either you are a Gaza or you're from the Gaza Strip
Uh-huh.
or you're from the Gully. So I think violence has always existed,
But it was
but
more
it's
subtle
right.
back then. And it's like now you have the Ratty Gang. Why would you want to call yourself the
Remember the Ratty?
Ratty Gang is Skeng. Skeng is a
Oh,
part of the Ratty. You see, them children is teaching me a lot, right? So, and on the walls and so on, you see them writing up Ratty Gang. The songs are something about Ratty Gang, Fimi Gang, something, something, right? So, but music, however, is literature.
yes,
And that's
it
what I
is.
like about it.
Mhm.
I use music oftentimes when I'm teaching, and I want to do poetry because a lot of people don't like poetry because they don't know how to read poems and
Yeah.
analyze it.
Mhm.
So what I would do, I would take a nice modern soul R&B kind of song and I would take it to the class and play it and let them hear how this boy would seduce this girl, or in Guyanese term, hustle this girl.
Mhm.
And then she's head over heels for him because, and then they would be like, I never looked at it that way. And then when you ask them, okay, so there's this girl that you like, write a poem telling her that you like her, they're gonna enjoy it. And then from there onwards, you move into your actual lesson. So music is very poetic. You can teach literary devices out of music. You can teach all these things. So I incorporate it a lot into my lessons, and it raises their attention,
Right.
and it causes them to focus. Back to the show that they had. I really wanted to go to that show.
Mm.
Not
You
for
know,
the Ratty
Mm.
Gang.
Which gang are you a part of, Miss?
No, not the Ratty Gang. So this girl, Chanel Muir,
Mm.
I really liked her. I like her lyrics and so on. She is for women, and she empowers them to build their confidence and don't allow men to make you less of who you are and so on. So I wanted to go and see her. But then when I heard about the Ratty Gang, I said, not a bit of it. I can't, because I can't run. I already anticipated the crowd that the Ratty Gang would attract. I went on the road the night of the show, and I had to pass the vicinity that the show was taking place. And I literally saw people walking from places like Sophia, walking out of Sophia to come to this show. And then we had some trending videos on TikTok where people, a fan was saying, "Oh, when you go to the show tonight, hold your purse, hold your this, hold your that." So that is what do you expect if you are going to sing about gun and shooting and and why so dark? Why be so dark and so violent in your lyrics? It's like I can't see myself sitting down and listen to I'm not despising the artists or anything, but I also believe Guyanese contributed a lot to what happened there because they allowed themselves to take the lyrics of the song literally.
Yeah.
It is one thing to listen, but when you realize that these music are influencing you so much that it is causing you to do things that you wouldn't do on a normal day, that's a big thing. We also saw when the artist came in, he was asking, "Would the weed there?" And this is your first. Well, I think it's his first time again or whatever. I don't know. And your introduction, I don't know if they knew they were live and he did that, or they weren't sure they were live or whatever, but he was asking for the weed. So you don't know, it's a lot of smoking will take place, and when people are intoxicated by whether it be alcohol or drugs, anything is possible.
True.
So I would often say to my children, choose what you want to represent and choose what you want to listen to, because it is very important how we portray ourselves and what we feed our minds with. Because entertainment is one thing, but music has the ability to become us, to become our personality. What about you?
It
absolutely.
does. It does. Because as Shamiza would have said, it puts you in a mood. And in as much as how you're going through, persons are experiencing
some difficulty, they're going through depression and so on. In as much as how you would try to listen to something that is not going to contribute towards your depression further, somehow you find yourself listening to these lyrics.
And I feel like Google and Facebook and YouTube, like they know when you're going through these things.
Like that it just pop up.
Yeah, because like I haven't listened to a soul song in years. You hear me? Because I don't want to get so emotional. And then when I was going through it, and I pop up on YouTube, some 90s soul playlist came up. And I am like, where did, and I started listening to it. And I felt worse than when I started listening to it. Not because the song was bad, but because of the ability it has to put you in that mood. Have you ever been in a transportation? Let's say you travel to go somewhere. You ain't hearing no music. But when you reach home, you find yourself humming this song all the time.
It stays with you.
And then
it stays with you.
You're wondering, where I know this song from? That song was probably playing in that bus very low that you're subconsciously you didn't know. But music is so powerful that even our subconscious, in our subconscious state, it picks it up and then it replays.
I must highlight this. Shimmy, if you've been following Guyana's news, we have, I am not alluding to the artist that was recently in Guyana. However, it is difficult to not associate the artist with some of the things that are transpiring currently. And so we see that what would have transpired at the event that evening, and then subsequently, as I indicated earlier, violence has always existed, but we're seeing a rise in it,
and so trickling down into the schools.
Exactly. And myself and Chanelli being in the school system, we're greatly affected by this. And so we see students going to school with guns, students going to school with knives, students going to school with all sorts of objects. And we don't know. We're right there and we don't know. And so they're creating gangs. And then we learned about, we know about Gaza and Gully, then we know about the Ratty gang and all of that. And these things have an effect on our learners. So the question is, how do we as teachers and persons in society, in the ministry, in the environment, the police force, how do we alleviate this problem or reduce it?
That's a big question indeed, because I think we have underestimated the safety of our school system. There is no search that goes on. Recently, they started to search the students' bag before they got into schools, but prior to that, the children could just walk in with whatever. Nobody searched them.
Because they associate children with innocence.
Right.
So you're innocent, so I cannot search you. It's why would I search you?
And it's very insecure for the teachers. Yeah. Recently, we had a fight at our school, and it was big. It was big because it had weapon. Like a ice pick or a juke or whatever they would call it. And these children literally take the time to sit and make some of these weapons. And it was sad because the weapon was in school with us all day while we taught. And then after school, the fight broke out in the school. A teacher trying to part here and a teacher trying to part there. And well, I don't part fights. I'm very sorry.
I'm with you.
I don't part fights because I don't want to be caught in the crossfire. It's sad, but I am very short. These boys that I teach are way bigger and taller and stronger than me, and I know my ability. So the deputy, she was pulling here, and then a sir, he was trying, and I think he got cuffed or, and these kind of things. And then teachers, we felt very unsafe because no police came. The matter was gang related, however, and they're saying it's not a matter for the school, but it becomes a matter for the school when it threatens everyone's safety. So I believe they should search these children's bags regularly. I mean, these children are clever. You can search the bags and not find anything, but they have something.
Mm-hmm.
And parents, you play a very important role in ensuring the safety of your child and the people that they're around, because the music they listen to contributes to it. They want to be a part of what society is promoting.
Yeah.
Um, the movies that they watch, and you need to pay attention to these kind of things. It's like, I remember this little child, he constantly used to kill a cat. Like any cat in the area, he would just kill this cat. And my cousin, she likes cats very much, and it happened so that her cat got killed too, and she cried for days. And they took it lightly. And I said, no, you cannot take it lightly, because this, you need to look into something like this. It shows that something is definitely wrong, and it can lead to other things. And you don't want that. And I feel as parents, we take a lot of things for granted. You can't tell me that you don't search your child's phone because you want to give your child privacy. What is privacy in my house?
Child is dependent on you, and you want to give the child privacy.
So all of these things. Now, if you call the mother to say, oh, your son fight, oh, well, if somebody trouble he, then he got to represent himself. But that's not the way. And those are some of the responses.
So we have really lost ourselves as a society.
And I believe, I would often say this, when we used to go to school, we did something called guidance. Guidance was like one of our very most important
guidance
subjects.
and counseling. We did HFLE.
Well, we didn't have HFLE. We had guidance. Guidance for us was a period where your class teacher used to sit and talk to you about different things. Sometimes they would have resource persons come in and teach us about sex and boyfriend and drugs and guns and all these things. They took it out to the system.
Yeah, it's not in the system.
Now they put health and family life. But health and family life is too routine for me, and it doesn't give way for the students to really learn about things that they're not taught at home. Some parents are afraid to talk to their children about sex, about violence and these things. No, you cannot be afraid, because if you don't want to tell them, they already know.
Yeah.
And you know what scares me? You might have your child in your home with good moral standings. But when you send them out into the schools, oh my God.
Well, the environment teaches them as well.
The things that they're exposed to, you gotta just hope and pray that your lessons that you taught them.
Weapons, actually. So, as I was saying, I also believe that us as parents, as a society, we have our role to play with what and how we teach our children, how we raise them. We all have a part to play. It's not just on the musicians, and it's not just on the parents. It's literally all of us, because as we know, it takes a village to raise
a child. Yeah.
And we're all a part of this village. So instead of everyone just passing the blame and say, no, you stop, we need to start with us. And see how we can fix it. And then once we all start doing our part, I do believe things could get better.
Parents need to also be more accepting of people correcting their children as well, because that has lost its way.
Yeah, because you know, when you go home and you say, mommy, teacher beat me today, or miss clap some lashes in me.
Go home and say that.
You know you're getting double licks.
Exactly.
Or an elderly person in the street says something to you and you disrespect that person or disregard that person's instructions, and they clap 2 lashes in you.
You have to take your thing and shut
you
your mouth.
You gotta go home and shut your mouth. You understand? But now we see, and this is exactly this is what the students are emulating from their home. We see, Miss can't talk to you. Miss can't tell me nothing. And when the teacher do react or give them 2 lashes, some of them have very sensitive skin, so they can get a little swelling, or they're going to turn red or blue or pink.
A big thing.
And then the parent runs into the school. And they don't
have conversations about adults with the children.
They don't go and sit and try to find out what is the problem so you can come to a conclusion. They go and beat the teacher. They kick up and
teachers,
thing and
we
so
have
on.
no rights now. It's like you just have to do your best to stay safe and enjoy doing your job. Because if you're just doing this job for the money, trust me, every day you're stressed out.
And
So,
so, yeah, and so, um, because we're teachers and because this is something that is happening in the school society, I guess that's why you would find us angling the discussion on that aspect. But as Shemita would have indicated earlier, we want to examine music and how it influences persons on the whole, society on the whole. And so with the artists that would have came into the country, we know that that arena did not only constitute of children only, but we had persons within the society, and of course we know that these persons are a part of gangs. I'm talking about adults. They're a part of gangs and whatever else they're a part of. And so while the show was going on and Sking said something about some gun, something, something. You see the man put up his gun and he released 2 bullets in the air and so on. And for him, it is right. It's satisfying his gratification. He feels good because this is what the lyric is telling me to do, or forcing me to do, or implying, and so me doing it is going to draw the audience to me.
Plus, he's a big thing that he own a gun,
and he's a big thing that he own a gun. So as Chimisa would have said, we need to, as a society,
re-examine.
Yeah, we gotta
our strategies really of raising our children and even existing.
Yeah, and a man was telling me yesterday. I was traveling in a taxi, and the man said, you know, the country need blood. The country need the street needs blood. And and he's talking about is a spirit, is a something spirit, and so on. Everybody has their analysis of what is happening. Persons look at it from a spiritual aspect. Persons look at it from an emotional aspect. Everybody has their say. What is your say, and how do you intend on curbing this issue in our society?
At the same time, we want to tell you to be mindful of what you're listening to. We're not telling you you should listen to this person specifically or whatever, but we're saying when you want to emulate, ensure that what you're emulating isn't harmful to yourself as well as anybody else. And ensure that you feed yourself and your soul and your spirit with positive things. And at this point, we will take this opportunity to tell you thank you for being with us today. Please remember to check out the Glam D and the Shimi Shauna brand. Svetlana, we're missing you so much on the show right now. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.
Bye.